All right, well, good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started with today's meeting of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. Thanks to all of you for being here today. We're going to start our meeting like we start all of our meetings of the Board of Supervisors with the invocation and a pledge. And joining us to lead us in the invocation and the pledge is Jeremy Reeder with the Library District. Maricopa County Library District does a wonderful job for us and for our residents, and thanks so much for joining us today. Please stand for the invocation.
Our Father in heaven, we're grateful for the opportunity that we have to gather together today to discuss these very important civic issues. We ask that thou would bless us with wisdom and bless this board with wisdom as they seek solutions and answers to the problems in these communities. We're so grateful for this opportunity to serve. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I say, I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks so much, Jeremy. Really appreciate that. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Sellers.
Here.
Supervisor Hickman.
Here.
Supervisor Gallardo.
Here.
Supervisor Chukri, I understand, is on his way, and Chairman Gates.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We like to start our meetings off with a fun visitor, and we're going to do that again today. We have Jose Santiago joining us from Maricopa County Animal Care and Control with a friend. Jose, who do we have with us today?
This is Leia, and she's about 2 years old, which is about 15 in dog years, so I put her in a quinceañera dress for that reason. And I also wanted to give her a little bit of modesty. She does have only 3 legs. She lost her leg when she got to the shelter because it was injured, and you can see she's fascinated by the microphone right about now. She is one of the nearly 800 animals we have in our 2 facilities right now. So we are starting to see that huge overcrowding that we typically get during the summer months. So we're doing everything we can to encourage people to come out and adopt this weekend especially. We are hosting a 50% off sale Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we're hoping people will add to their family and take someone like Leia. Give me the Oz. Take Leia home this weekend and make her your new lap buddy like she's been mine. So, and I heard the color coordinated comment. That was by accident.
Thank you so much, Jose. Thanks for bringing Leia with you today. And as always, thanks for all the great work that you do over at Maricopa County Animal Care and Control. So with that now, I know a lot of you are here for Employee Service Awards. So with that, I'd like to invite Jan Plank, our HR Director, to come up and join us. Good morning, Jan.
Good morning, Chairman Gates, board members, and County Manager Rich. Today we're excited to honor 9 individuals who have achieved the landmark of 30, 35, and 40 years of service with the county. We invite the leaders of those honorees to join us for a picture with the board. So if the board could please come forward, and County Manager Rich, as we greet our awardees. Our first award recipient celebrating 30 years of service is Jim Meyer from Adult Probation. Jim came to us in 1985 after being cut from my home team, the Green Bay Packers, following a stint as a 12th round draft pick as a punter. Jim wasn't sure what he was going to do with his life after that devastating news, so he got in his car and drove to Arizona. When he arrived, he saw an ad for a youth supervisor in juvenile detention, and the rest is history. Jim remembers his pay being a whopping $6.80 an hour back then. He refers to the good old days with his Rolodex next to his calculator, and that's not a Rolex. Remember, he was making $6.80 an hour, right? He dictated his reports into a tape recorder back in the day. Jim wants to especially thank his wife for helping him stay the course as he raised 4 children with her, despite the challenges of working in probation. The income and benefits have allowed him to take his kids on many memorable vacations, too. Special thanks, Jim. He's got a lot of his family and friends here today, so let's give him a round of applause. Our next award recipient, also celebrating 30 years of service, is Kim Ong from Adult Probation. Come on up, Kim. Kim is a local who attended Alhambra High School and then ASU. He started with the county as a youth supervisor in juvenile probation and now serves as an adult probation officer. Kim remembers one client who, when he opened his office door, was lying on the floor in the hallway. The client admitted he was strung out on drugs and told Kim, "Just send me back to prison. I give up." Instead of sending him to prison, though, Kim encouraged him to enroll in the Salvation Army's 6-month drug treatment program. The client experienced huge success there and was able to turn his life around. This one case is just evidence of Jim's commitment to not giving up on people. Congratulations, Kim. Mike Babicki performs the critical role of official court reporter. Come on up, Mike. He's in a position that is differentiated from other court reporters by additional certification that equips him to provide real-time court reporting services, eliminating the need for added transcription after the hearing. I understand there are 4 judges that Mike has worked for over the years that are with us today, so thank you so much for joining us. Mike first came to the county in 1988, where he worked for the Honorable Alfred Rogers in Superior Court. He notes that when he first arrived here, there were case cards to record trials. Although his workload is much higher now, the technology advances have also kept pace. Mike is the proud parent of 3 children, 1 late son, 3 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren. When he's not working, he enjoys being out on the golf course and traveling. So congratulations, Mike. Your 30 years. Dana Carlene Dowling joins us today from the Judicial Branch, where she serves as a Law Library Resource Center assistant. She started her career back in 1989 in customer service, providing public records at the clerk's office. Dana remembers the very special historical books that contained the original records from when Maricopa County was founded in 1871. She also recalls seeing the marriage license for Natalie Wood and Robert Wagner. Whoa, she's on the inside track, huh? She also recalls microfiche, right? And she certainly welcomed the entrance of computers on the scene after she started. In her current role at the Law Library, she provides forms and information to citizens, primarily in family court cases. She notes that thousands of people have shared their stories and struggles with her as she helps them navigate the system. She calls herself the stranger you can vent to that you never have to see again. Congratulations, Dana. Also joining us today from the Judicial Branch with 30 years of service is Lydia Moreno. Lydia serves as a judicial assistant for Commissioner Thomas Capillo. She started with the county in 1989 up at 32nd Street in Roosevelt in the file room and spent 13 years in family court, where she worked processing consent decrees and defaults for child support. Lydia's work over the years has helped many children get the critical financial support they needed to enhance their lives. Lydia also spent a number of years at the clerk of the court in the customer service area. Lydia is known as being loyal, reliable, honest, friendly, and motivated. Thank you, Lydia, for all your years of service. Juan Martinez joins us today from the County Attorney's Office, also celebrating 30 years of service. Juan started as an attorney with MCO in 1988. He spent his entire career prosecuting criminal cases. Over 22 of his 30 years here have been devoted to prosecuting murder cases. During his tenure with the county, he's handled many high-profile trials. Some of the more noteworthy ones involved significant public attention, included the State versus Richard Crimson and the State versus Scott Follater. Juan was born in Mexico, legally came to this country at age 6 with his parents. They settled in Victorville, California. At that time, they didn't speak any English, and he was tutored in his core subjects. He really has a great story to tell. Thank you, Juan, for all you've contributed. Our next honoree, Mary Ryden, I had the pleasure of working with, get this, on a personal level when she came out to assess at our request a historic home in FQ Story about 5 years ago. I'm really glad I was on the right side of that, right? The guest house wasn't permitted, and Mary came out, we're like, we're doing it all right. Mary recalls starting as a temp in the clerical pool for the assessor's office 35 years ago. She now serves that same office as a senior field appraiser. Her daughter and son-in-law join us today to celebrate Mary's many accomplishments. Her colleague David Hansen describes Mary as dedicated, trustworthy, kind, caring, and honest. He noted that when he first started with the assessor's office, Mary went out of her way to make everyone feel welcome, and she still does that today. Thank you, Mary. Our next awardee is Macrina Leach, Nurse Program Manager with Public Health. When Macrina first started with the county, she was facing a public who had very limited access to health care and immunizations. She recalls giving shots under trees in the summer, working out of a portable clinic in a motorhome, and in a building where people were lined up a block long. Amazingly, over the years, the access issue was addressed, but the public now has free options for immunizations. However, public health is struggling with a public's personal choice to not be immunized. Macrina is grateful for advances over the years, such as retractable syringes, which has greatly reduced the opportunity from needle stick injuries. Macrina's advice for new staff is always accept the challenge and try something new. Don't let change scare you. Thank you, Macrina. Our last award goes to Diana Shepard from Human Services, who is celebrating a big 40 years with Maricopa County. Congratulations, Diana. Diana started as a service delivery coordinator 40 years ago. She's currently responsible in workforce development, quality assurance. Her husband is retired from MCSO, and she just recently returned from her 50th high school reunion back in Massachusetts. Diana tells us that her favorite song from 1979, the year she was hired, was "Another One Bites the Dust." But that is certainly not descriptive of Diana here at the county, where she has survived and thrived during her 40 years. Congratulations, Diana, and to all of our awardees.
So congratulations to all of these employees with this incredible service length that they've had with Maricopa County. We've got some exciting items that we're going to be handling here in the meeting. So if you'd like to stick around for those, that's great. But if you'd like to leave too, please go ahead. We'll take a couple minutes while everybody walks out of the room. Thanks for being here.
Mr. Chairman, I do have a football in the office, so we can. You want to try it? Let's do it. Yeah, let's see how far we can kick it. The courtyard. Clint, go stand over there.
Hunter, not a field goal kicker.
Just stand
Learn
right
your
there.
sport.
No, just stand. Just stand like that.
Just stand like that.
Right there.
It's fun. No, I want to see you catch a punt.
I'll come to your office anytime. All right.
All right.
We'll do it in the hallway.
See him
I don't
catch
know
a
what
punt.
risk management team we'll do. So when I went to a conference, and they had the final day was on the Dallas Cowboys on May 5th, and they had
In the new one or the old one?
the new one. It was like 3 years. And so we were thinking, well, that was really nice. Table set up on the field, and you were able to kick a field goal. Wow, that's cool. Now you come close to it.
But you got to kick it.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. You say, "Hey, that's it."
All right, so in the same vein of recognizing great service by Maricopa County employees, I'd like to, at this time, turn it over to our clerk to read a proclamation about Jennifer Toth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This proclamation is Jennifer Toth, American Public Works Association Top 10 Public Works Leader of the Year. Whereas Jennifer Toth has been named an American Public Works Association Top 10 Public Works Leader of the Year in 2019, recognizing exemplary leadership and service in the public works industry. And whereas APWA is a professional association of public work agencies, private companies, and individuals dedicated to promoting professional excellence and public awareness through its 63 chapters in North America and more than 30,000 members. And whereas Jennifer's integrity, courage, and vision has set her apart, Jennifer is continuously on the leading edge of transportation trends, which has opened the door for national leadership opportunities and has shown her to be a role model for transportation professionals. And whereas Jennifer has demonstrated her commitment to being a positive role model for others by mentoring women in the transportation industry and has established McDOT's mentoring program, partnering program, and educational classes for aspiring engineers. And whereas Jennifer's leadership has brought Maricopa County recognition nationally with McDOT's commitment to transportation innovation through its leadership with several jurisdictions to establish adaptive signal control technology to improve travel times and commuter safety. And whereas Jennifer has repeatedly demonstrated by her actions that the safety of McDOT employees is paramount, Jennifer has implemented safety campaigns and has created the McDOT Safety Now recognition program. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors does hereby recognize Jennifer Toth for her APWA Top 10 Public Works Leaders of the Year 2019 award during National Public Works Week. We pay tribute to Jennifer and to our public works professionals, field crews, operators, engineers, managers, and employees, and recognize the substantial contributions they make to provide connections that improve people's lives. Congratulations, Jennifer.
Thank you very much. Jennifer, would you like to come up so that we can recognize you? That proclamation did such a wonderful job of recognizing what you mean to Maricopa County and the contributions that you make every day. But I'd just like to highlight a couple things and then open it up to my colleagues as well. One is the focus on safety. I mean, that is job number one, right? We can talk about everything else, but safety is number one, and I greatly appreciate your focus on safety and with your whole team. And then the second piece is innovation, and in particular in my district, in District 3, in the Anthem test bed, what you've done with connected vehicles. I mean, you are on the cutting edge. It's been recognized by experts in the field and also covered by the media. And to me, that's so exciting what that means for the future of Maricopa County. A future in which traffic jams are a thing of the past. Now, that may be Pollyanna, but I think that's possible given technology. But the only way we get there is by testing and by pushing the envelope while being safe, and you've done that, and I just want to salute you for that and just say what a joy it is to work with you and your whole team.
Thank you.
Any of my colleagues? Supervisor Sellers.
Thank you, Chairman Gates. Well, I first met Jennifer when she was state engineer at ADOT, when I got assigned to the State Transportation Board, and we are so fortunate to have her here at Maricopa County. What an inspiration she is for young engineers. Particularly impressed with the mentoring that she's done. As one MCDOT employee said, there is no better example of Director Toth's dedication to employee development than her involvement with the MCDOT mentorship program. Throughout the program, she not only participated, she actively engaged in the dialogue, getting to know all of us personally, reinforcing the goal of truly evaluating MCDOT staff and fostering professional growth. But to go along with what Chairman Gates said, I think the thing that's most impressive is her leadership in the area of transportation innovation, and her work on connected and automated vehicle technology. The American Association of State Highway and Transportation put it best when they say, and I quote, "Jennifer is one of America's transportation visionaries. She is a leader in growing our workforce for the future and preparing our infrastructure for the coming of connected and automated vehicles." So thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. County Manager Rich?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I had the honor of attending the luncheon where the award was presented to Jennifer, and let me tell you, she is just universally admired, liked, and respected by all of her colleagues here. That was evident in that room, that everybody was celebrating with Jennifer because they hold her in such high regard. As you said, Supervisor Sellers, she mentors a lot of young particularly women in this field. Jennifer was the first county and state engineer that was a female. So she models a tremendous career for young people in general, but young women in particular. And so I just want to say it's an honor to have worked with you all these years, Jennifer. Glad you came and took our offer to come here and work. You've done a lot of tremendous things, and you're universally liked and respected by your peers, both outside the county and inside the county.
Thank you. Other comments?
Thank you, Mr.
Supervisor
Chairman.
Gallardo.
Thank you. This is wonderful. This is congratulations. Well deserved. Coming on the board, we all come with our own level of expertise on certain areas, but we don't know it all. And one of those areas that I'm just not that familiar with is the whole area of transportation and all the infrastructure that goes along with it and so on. So it's been a real learning curve for me over the last 5 years, and it's not only Jennifer, but her entire team that has helped me over the last 5 years. Here's my one little story, and you probably remember this. It must have been like 3 years ago. The county was receiving an award or something, and there was a reception on a Saturday night. I was running around all day, and I was rushing over. I was late, of course. I was rushing over to the reception because we were going to accept the award. And then I had to say a few words, and it's easy to say thank you or so on. But so I rushed over there. I didn't have Chris prepared notes for me, and I didn't have my notes. I forgot those. And so we're in this room, must have been a couple hundred people there, all transportation-related folks. These are the engineers. These are the folks that understand this area. I said, man, I'm going to look like a fool. I go up there and not know what the hell to say. And so she gave me a briefing, like within not even 30 seconds of pretty much kind of what to say, and got me through the dinner. And I hope I served the county board well and represented well. But it was a lifesaver. It just shows you the knowledge she has. Just off the dime, she knew exactly how to present and what to say. So thank you so much, not only for your service, but everything you've done for our office to get us through the last 5 years. Thank you.
Supervisor
I think it's very descriptive of what's important to this board, and that's that term CYA. Thank you for that. It looks like you covered Supervisor Gallardo's, as Lee was one point.
I look good at that dinner.
I just wanted to thank you. Yeah, you always look good. Yeah. I just wanted to thank you for how you coming on board and being so receptive and being just perfect for us. When lots of people visualize the county and different things, but a key constituent of mine, which is my dad, consistently brings up the roads because we're in a rural area, and how he admires the county and McDOT for just doing a fantastic job out there. And I think that you represent that entire department well, Jennifer. So thank you for coming on, wearing the county badge alongside of us, and being so supportive of the county taxpayer for doing such a great job. So I admire your leadership, and please keep it up. I'm afraid you're going to ask us for a raise, because I don't know what we're going to say right now, but thank you for being there for us.
Thank you. Supervisor Chukri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and my apologies for being late. I'm almost competing now with Mr. Gallardo. It must be the first name. So I'm winning. No, I'm not. Madam Clerk, we can clarify that later. That I'm still losing in that regard, but I apologize. And it's similar to what Supervisor Sellers said. I remember speaking with you for the very first time. You were still at the state in transition coming over here, and we had those horrible floods in Mesa in my district. And you were just right on it then, and of course you are now. And after reading this proclamation, we probably should name the auditorium after you, or something along those lines. But the proclamation, I think, is indicative of who you are, not only in your role here, but who you are as a person, Jen. And you have this unassuming way about you to where you're not concerned about who gets the credit. It's that quiet leadership that speaks for itself, and that's a rarity. And some have said, it's the it factor, and Jen Toth has the it factor. And so we thank you for what you've done. Supervisor Hickman's comments are very appropriate too with our roads, and the attention you pay to all that we do within the Maricopa County construct of MCDOT. So well deserved. And thank you for not only being a great director in this role, but also for being who you are personally.
Thanks so much. Would you like to say a few words?
So thank you for all the kind words. It's truly humbling to be recognized on a national and a local level. I just want to thank the board and Joy for the opportunity and the trust that you've given me to lead the MCDOT team. Obviously, I could not do this alone. It takes all 400 employees. They're the ones who believe in me and rely on me on a daily basis so that we can fulfill our purpose of making those connections that improve people's lives. So it's an honor to be a part of Maricopa County and to represent Maricopa County and MCDOT. Thank you very much for this.
Thanks so much. Again, congratulations. Now we'll move under Planning and Development to number 7, which is a Luke Landing Subdivision Assurance Agreement and Resolution. The board will now consider this item.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item number 7.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Hickman. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Gallardo. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? That motion passes unanimously.
Back and-
Yes.
Would you like to vote on the proclamation?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Absolutely. My
did we
apologies.
just vote on the other one?
Yes, we did not vote on the proclamation.
Sorry, Jen, we changed our mind.
Yeah. I just thought it was obvious,
What, you want to finish this one first?
Yeah, so we did. So we're done with that one. So now we will move back to item 6 and would entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the proclamation, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Thank you for the motion, Supervisor Chukri, and the second, Supervisor Sellers. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? See, I knew it was going to pass. All right. All right, now we'll move into planning and zoning on the consent agenda. We have PZ1, which is the 303 in Glendale Industrial, PZ2, Falcon View 2, PZ3, Luke Landing, PZ4, Foothills Center Condominiums, PZ5, Thunder Mountain Drainage Easements, lots 41, 53, and 89, and PZ6, Troon, Tonto Verde, Parcel 1. So at this time, we would call on our P&Z staff. Jen, if you'd like to come up and join us. Darren? Madam Clerk, do we have anyone here to comment on items PZ1 through PZ6?
Mr. Chairman, we have one slip. It is PZ4, and it's Jason Fronstein, and he would like to speak in favor if necessary, if there are any questions.
Okay, all right. So do we have any questions on any of these items, including PZ4, from my colleagues? Do you have any comments at all, Jen?
No, thank you, Chairman Gates.
Okay, perfect. All right, then, unless there are any questions, I would entertain a motion on the consent agenda items.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval items PZ1 through PZ6.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Hickman and Supervisor Chukri. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, that motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Next, under statutory hearings for clerk of the board, we have 8 liquor license applications. A is a special event license for Youth Outdoors Unlimited. B, special event license for Anthem Rotary Foundation. C, temporary extension of premises patio for Well Done Grill at Canyon Lake. Do we have any speaker slips on items 8A through C?
None, Mr. Chairman.
All right, then the board will now consider items 8A through C.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Supervisor Chukri. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ooh, that was close. I'm going to give that one to Supervisor Gallardo with the second. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Next, under Clerk of the Board, we have liquor license applications D, new license for Dollar General Store number 19475. Do we have any speaker slips on item 8D?
None, Mr. Chairman.
All right, the board will now consider item 8D.
Mr. Chairman, move approval, item 8D.
All right, thank you, Supervisor Hickman. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Thank you, Supervisor Gallardo. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. No. The motion passes 4-1. Next, we'll move on to statutory hearings, Clerk of the Board. 9 is petitions hearing for the formation of the proposed Country Club Estates Irrigation Water Delivery District. 10 is an impact statement hearing for the proposed Evergreen Irrigation Water Delivery District. And number 11 is the impact statement hearing for the proposed Arden Estates Irrigation Water Delivery District. Madam Clerk, do we have any speaker slips on this item, on these items?
Mr. Chairman, on item number 9, Dan Jarvis is here and will speak if necessary to answer any questions. And then we have several speakers for items 10 and 11, and it might be best if we would take those separately.
Perfect. All right. So starting with item number 9. So we have one speaker on that one.
Yes, if necessary, if there are any questions. He's
Okay.
in favor.
Any questions from my colleagues? If not, I would entertain a motion on item 9.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I move for approval, and I'd like to thank the district board members for their hard work on this, on forming this district.
Excellent. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Chukri. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, that motion passes unanimously. Next, we have item 10, which is the impact statement hearing for the proposed Evergreen Irrigation Water Delivery District. And we do have speaker slips on that one.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have 2 speakers who wish to speak and 3 who would like to speak. If necessary, they are all in favor.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with the speakers then. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Our first speaker is, and I apologize, is it Peter Vargas? Thank you, Mr. Vargas, for joining us today.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman Gates, supervisors. Thank you for this opportunity to speak in favor of the Evergreen IWDD formation. As stated, my name is Peter Vargas. I do live in the area. I'm one of the one homeowner of the 104 homes that are in the proposed boundary of this district, and I'd like to speak in favor. As you recall, at the last board meeting, this agenda item was continued to today, and I'd like to give you a little update as to what has happened in that last month. In all honesty, when it was continued, I was a little disappointed. I wasn't exactly sure what would be gained in that short period of time. However, I'd like to report that I am happy and humbled to say that I was very wrong. We had quite a bit of progress in that last month. So this last Saturday, May 18th, we had a neighborhood meeting at an SRP building, and about 12 of the homeowners were in attendance. There were a few in attendance who were opposed. Most were in favor of the formation. And as you can imagine, any meeting with differing opinions, there were some conversations that got a little heated, but everything was very civil, and I'd like to thank Stephanie and Sonia, who were there facilitating the meeting. They did a phenomenal job at educating all of us, answering any questions, providing correct information when we had misinformation, or just educating us on new items. So I was wrong, so I really appreciate the wisdom in continuing the item to today. As I stated, I'm representing myself, but I'm also representing some homeowners who are not here today in favor of the formation of the district. We'd like to move to the next step. We're about halfway through the process, and that next step would be to petition our neighbors to try to get 50% plus one. And so we humbly request that you approve and pass this agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Vargas from my colleagues? All right, thanks for your testimony today.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jeremy Barr. And you're speaking in favor of this item, is that correct? I am. Excellent.
Good morning, board, and thank you. I'm Jeremy Bohr, and I do live within the boundaries of the water district. And I'm just a neighbor who's concerned about making sure we have perpetual irrigation. And through the duration of living there, we have had multiple issues, and it's been pretty disorganized. And there's been a few people who have been just trying to figure out how we can solve that and how we can put an official process in place, make sure we plan ahead, make sure we have funds available, and all that good stuff. And nothing's perfect, but this seems to be as close as we could get. It's as democratic as we could get. The meetings have been extremely open. I haven't set any of them up, but we go on Nextdoor and neighbors talk, and everyone's been invited to attend and discuss things. So there's been no information that's been held from anyone. And at first I was a little bit weary of the thing, but I did research and I listened, and it makes a lot of sense. And I think last month, Madam Clerk even mentioned that it strengthens our water rights, kind of gives us a legal entity, and it's all made up by the neighbors who have complete control. Everything's transparent with open meetings. And I mean, really, we just need to play a process in place when issues come up, so we don't have 2 months or perpetual loss of access to water. We wouldn't be able to fairly collect funds, so everyone chips in instead of like a very small percentage, which seems to be going down over time. We want to prepare for issues in advance, and we want accountability and oversight, which affords us, which we don't really have right now. And like I said, we need to protect our water rights, and this is part of that idea. And I know the neighborhood has had at least like 3 meetings with SRP to make sure everyone is well informed. I know that there are a few people who are opposed, but I mean, it's a democratic process. I mean, you're not necessarily going to have 100% agreement, but we need to be able to move forward to see if the majority of the neighbors do want to kind of pursue this. And that's really all that we want. Nobody appointed themselves. I know there's been some concern about that. The people who started organizing this thing sort of reached out and to people in the neighborhood they thought were very respectable and who would be interested in helping out. So it's not like a few power-hungry people trying to take any sort of control. And I've also heard issues regarding once this is in place, then it's going to take 100% of votes to get rid of it. No, dissolution is the same as creation. It takes 50 plus 1%. So if there was a problem with it.
Sorry to interrupt. Your time has expired. If you want to wrap up your thought,
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. That's basically what I wanted to say, is that if it didn't work out, if there are people with concerns, then we could dissolve it with the same methods that we did to create it. So I don't see any problem with it, and I think that we should just move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from my colleagues? All right, thanks for coming down. I also have 3 speakers here in favor who just want to speak if necessary. William Gosney, Barbara Bingham, and Nancy Lee. Would any of you like to come down and speak, or is it not necessary? All right.
Mr. Chairman, this just came in.
Okay, and I have one more here then. One speaker in opposition, Heather Scantleberry.
And it's only if necessary.
Perfect. Okay, great. And so those have been provided to the clerk?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, and I distributed the letter to your offices earlier this morning.
Excellent. Any questions from the board after reviewing that? Thank you for doing that, Madam Clerk. All right, well, unless there are any questions then, I will turn it to Supervisor Chukri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Madam Clerk, I think you were going to put a slide up that commemorates or memorializes the process. So I think Mr. Vargas, I was running late. I forgot my wedding ring. I forgot my glasses. So wherever you are, I'm still married and I can't see. But you said something that struck me as very interesting. And what you're talking about and what this is this is about progress, not perfection. And I want to make sure that everyone understands in these irrigation, we just passed one without any contention with the Country Club Estates. And so we simply are a facilitator in all of this. All 5 of us have to go and get petitions signed to even appear on a ballot. So this is a part of the democratic process, and I think Jeremy spoke of that, or Mr. Vargas spoke about the democratic process. That's what this is. And all that we are doing today, and I want to make sure everyone is abundantly clear on what we're doing today, is allowing your neighbors and your friends and your colleagues to gather signatures to see if this will move forward. If those signatures aren't there, if the majority is not there, this will not move forward. So I have a hard time putting the brakes on something and putting the brakes on a democratic process that is essentially dictating to my constituency what you can and can't do, because that's not the role of this board in this given case. Our clerk and Madam Clerk, I commend you on the work you do, especially in this space, and for consulting with the county attorney's office to make sure that everything is done abundantly in an abundantly clear way and through the proper process. And that's why I asked for more time on this, to ensure that those who were opposed to this and that those who found that the process wasn't being done correctly or felt as though it wasn't, that we indeed pushed pause and made sense of it, and so everyone could be, like I said earlier, abundantly clear as to where we go. So this slide that you see up there is what we've been able, I can't really read it.
That I see.
That you see, all of you see, that pertains to the elections, the fees, and the dissolution, I think is what that says. And that's what this is. Madam Clerk, did you?
I can add some additional information about that if you would like.
I will turn it to you, before I wrap.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, and to those in the audience, these were 3 questions that had come up in the previous hearing, and we just wanted to provide a little clarity on them. One of the concerns was that they had heard, don't worry about elections, they don't really hold them. The IWDDs do hold elections. The trustees serve a term of 2 years. The elections are held every 2 years, and it's on a specific day, the 3rd Wednesday in November. However, elections can be canceled, the same as we do for precinct committeemen and school board members. If there are 3 slots open and 3 people register to be candidates, then there's no need to cause the district extra expense to hold an election. So they ask the board to cancel and appoint, which we do. One of the other questions that came up had to do with fees. The county does not charge fees to districts except for one thing, which is required in the statute, that they post a bond to cover the hard costs, which are the costs of mailing, postage, publication in the newspaper, and posting in the neighborhood. For a district this size, the normal fee or the normal bond is approximately $250, which was the case here, and I believe that it covered all of the costs. So any monies that are left after formation or after the formation effort would be given back to the district. There is a statute that allows the board to establish fees to be reimbursed for the county's work. However, the board has never established any of those fees, and it is a may statute, not a shall statute. It's something that could be done. We actually consider this to be part of our statutory duty at the clerk's office, and it's a assistance to the citizens when they come with this type of request. Likewise, I checked with the treasurer, and the treasurer's office does not charge for administering the funds, both funds coming in and checks going out of any of the districts. And the third item up there is dissolution, and I believe one of the gentlemen commented on that. The statute prior to 2006 did require 100%. That statute was changed in 2006, and now, just like formation, you would only have to have a majority ask for dissolution if that was ever necessary. We have more than 50 IWDDs. I've never had anyone go through that particular process. So I just wanted to provide a little bit more clarity on those questions that had come up at the previous hearing.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And Mr. Chairman, I believe that I know that these issues of irrigation districts can be difficult, and I would ask that as this is formed and that the process is working to create the district, that you listen to both sides as neighbors, and let's not forget we're all neighbors. And I'm hopeful that the concerns by those who oppose this can be allayed, and if they're not allayed, at least taken into consideration by those that are in favor of it. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve this item number 10.
All right, thank you very much, Supervisor Chukri. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, thanks to everyone who has gotten involved on this particular item, and thank you, Madam Clerk, for your enlightening all of us on a lot of these issues. Okay, yeah, if you could come up to the podium, please. I mean, we have already voted on the item, but if you want to briefly say something.
Hi, Chairman Gates, Supervisor Chukri, and members of the board. I just want to thank the clerk, Fran, Mrs. McCarroll. I shouldn't call you Fran.
We have to call her Miss McCarroll.
I just wanted to, because she did address one thing that I spoke to her about, and I appreciate her following up on this, because I did check some of the statutes through the Arizona Ledge website, but I just wanted to make sure that it's clear that I received this packet from SRP last year, right after there was a discussion about forming an IWDD, and I stated my opposition at that time before I even knew what it was exactly, but I knew I needed to know the law. And so SRP, I said, why aren't you sending this whole packet with all the laws to all the neighbors? And they said, well, we don't do that unless you specifically call and request it. And I said, well, that seems like a real problem. I think everybody should have a copy of the law. And it was basically, well, that's not our job. We're basically just trying to move this, move everybody into an IWDD, and we're only selling the positive aspects of it. And it's if you have a negative aspect, it's your job to do that. And so, hey, I'm involved in political process, so I said that's fine with me. However, some of the laws that I was wrong about, it was because the information SRP gave me was wrong. And I only got this last year, and she says the law was changed in 2006. Well, SRP, and even at some of the meetings, the representatives didn't know the law, or they were misrepresenting the law. So I think I've been accused of misrepresenting the law, but if I did, it was wholly by accident, because I was working off of, false, bad information from SRP.
Well, Heather, that clarification is very important, and I appreciate it. And I will work with SRP to make sure, if you can leave that with my staff.
I've written all kinds of notes and kind
okay.
of
Well,
gunked it
we'll
up,
get
so.
a copy of it, because we'll make sure, because you can't have that kind of misinformation. We'll look into that.
Definitely,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
and
Supervisor Gallardo.
Mr. Chairman, and I'm thankful she came up and shared that with us. And one of the things I was just thinking as we were having this discussion, because this is not going to be the last time we have this type of discussion, and perhaps working with our clerk's office, Fran, is just a wealth of knowledge that we do put together some type of informational pamphlet or guide that we can disseminate to the public. We have it at the Capitol, is How to Bill Becomes a Law, and it's called Mr. Bill. If you ever saw it, it's like a little Mr. Bill, and it shows the process on how things are done at the state capitol. And why not have a similar type of a pamphlet or guide that we can have printed and distributed, and not so much take what SRP may have to offer, but have our own that is up to date, and we can just give that and we really break it down to exactly what our role is here at the county and what the role is of the constituency that's wanting to create. So maybe that's something we can work on.
I would support, we can't make a motion, but I really would support that too.
I have wonderful ideas.
Maybe Mr. Sellers would too.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I have wonderful ideas.
Well, yes. Let's limit it to one every 6 months, is what we're saying.
I have wonderful ideas for other people, it's like, not for myself. I don't want to do it for myself.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
if I might just follow on that, I'd like to recognize Lori Medeiros in my office. She is the coordinator in this office for special districts. And for about 2 years, she worked on a handbook for special districts that does include all of this. We often give that, once a district is created, we give it to the new trustees so that they kind of know you're subject to the open meeting law and many of the other things they have to do. But because of this process, we have been working on an idea very similar to what you say, where we've taken the frequently asked questions and we've taken and made the formation a simpler 2-page document. So we plan to send that out. The next time somebody asks about an IWDD, they're going to get more information in the front. So thank you for that.
Thank you for the idea, but you're already on it, is what I hear.
We're already on it.
So that's great.
Taking my thunder.
But I didn't want you to think we hadn't been working on it.
No, thank you. And we've had a lot of these lately in many, if not all of our districts. So thank you. And Lori, thanks for your work on this. Next, we have on the same topic, we have number 11, impact statement hearing for the proposed Arden Estates Irrigation Water Delivery District. Do we have speaker slips on this item, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have one that is in favor and wishes to speak, 2 that are in favor and do not wish to speak, and 1 who is a bit undecided whether she's for or against, and maybe this presentation will help.
All right, excellent. We will go ahead and hear from the speaker who wishes to speak in favor of it, Dan Millett. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Chairman Gates and Supervisors. Last month, we were asked to kind of table it and talk to some of our neighbors and resolve some of the questions that they had. We're glad to be able to do that, and I think the community, the Arden State neighborhood has come together, and I think we're ready to move forward. We've got Elizabeth that was here that was against it. Now she says she's for it. A lot of these questions are answered right before we asked me to come speak, but we're glad to be able to have irrigation water, to have it flow in our neighborhood. It's a beautiful thing to have irrigation. It's cheap, and some of our neighborhood consists of about 68 users, and 4 of them asked to be not a part of it. They said they couldn't get the water. They didn't want to be a part of something they couldn't get the water on. So, and I think you know who I'm talking about, but we were able to cut them out, and they were happy about that. So I think that was taken care of. We've also reduced the fees in half from the suggested rate. So it's just something where we could have some money available to take care of anything that might come up. So we're ready to move forward, and we've had at least 3 of my neighbors that came, and now Elizabeth, I think she's for it. So we're glad to have the opportunity to circulate our petitions and to move forward on this. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Millett? All right, we also, thank you. Thanks for coming down. We also have in favor to speak only if necessary, or actually this is just don't wish to speak, but register position in favor, Elaine Rosendahl, and also Pamela Andrews. And then we do have the undecided Elizabeth. So I think, would you like to come and speak? Okay, great. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. I don't know how to address all you, but thank you very much for giving me this time. But when I went home, I was very disappointed in that I heard the other one, Evergreen's complaints, and I just was bewildered. But Colleen, Mrs. Millett, called me that day, and she said, I heard you went to the meeting, and I said, yeah, but I still don't know what to do. I said to be for it or against it, but I think this is gonna pass because we need it. Mr. Millett has been gracious enough to fix our lines all the time, and I've heard his issues with getting the money. A lot of them don't wanna pay because they have other things they rather pay. And this will collect money that we all drastically are going to need eventually. But I have researched this, and I have come to the conclusion that it is a pro for our neighborhood. I hope that others that don't understand will come to the meeting that we're supposed to have after this, because they need to be filled in with the facts that it's not going to turn into an HOA, which was my fear. And we do need the water. And if our lines break, we won't have water. So I'm moving forward and hoping that this will work out. And like they said, there's a disillusion if it doesn't work out and everybody's in an uproar. But we have a good community at Arden, and everybody seems to get along. So I'm hoping that our meetings will go the same way. Thank you for letting me talk.
Thanks so much for coming down.
Yeah.
And with that, I'll turn it over to Supervisor Chukri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Elizabeth, for being here. Mr. Millett, thank you for being a great neighbor to your neighbors. And as you might recall, Mr. Chairman and colleagues, that this is the neighborhood I grew up in. My family owned a home here for 45 years that my dad built in 1972. So I know it well, and I did a lot of destruction in that very neighborhood as a young youth. So I understand it very, very well. I understand, too, that I lived in a different house in Mesa when I started my family, and I had an irrigation district there that I paid for that I didn't utilize. So I get this on both sides. With that being said, this is a bit unique. Mr. Gallardo said earlier, these seem to be coming up more and more, which they are. However, this is a nuance that I haven't seen in my 7-year tenure here, and that is actually having houses in a district that have no pipes or no infrastructure to actually provide irrigation. So in that regard, it's at least a first for me, and I think that's going to be part of this motion today, or my motion today, to make sure we remove, I believe, these 4 homes from this water delivery district. And Madam Clerk, do you want to cite those homes and those addresses?
Yes, I can do that, Mr. Chairman and Supervisor Chukri. If I could just address the slide quickly, and then we can tell which homes they are. It did come to light during the secondary review of this and some meetings with SRP that these 4 parcels, the pipes do not actually reach their property. So we've talked to the proponents, and they actually asked that those 4 parcels be removed from the district. In the same letter, they request, because they were able to do a couple of repairs that were a little bit more expensive, they've already finished them, they asked that their first-year budget would also be reduced. So that's where you see on the slide, the initial budget was $4,600, and they asked that it be reduced to $2,500. And so we worked with the assessor's office, created a new map, and took those particular parcels out. And also, we made the conforming changes to the impact statement about the acreage and the effect that it would have on the taxes. So the new rate for a half-acre parcel would be $35.70 instead of $61.52. And the parcels that were removed, it's Miss Wheeler, the Days, Mr. Rondo, and Mr. Adams. And they're the 4 parcels that are at the very end of Elmwood Circle. And one of them faces Harris Drive. So I don't have their exact parcel numbers, but it is part of the
I've got them here if I can.
document.
So,
Yes.
if that's all, Madam Clerk, I'm, Mr. Chairman, ready to make a motion to pass this, item number 11, and remove the following parcel numbers from this irrigation district, and that would be 137-03294D, 137-03287, 137-03293, and 137-03288.
Excellent. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Hickman. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right, that motion passes unanimously. Again, thanks for all the neighbors who worked together on this. Thank you, Supervisor Chukri and Madam Clerk and your team for great work on this. It will not be our last. We know that. Next, we move into statutory hearings under Transportation. 12 is patent easement abandonment, road file PAB 0085. Do we have anyone here to provide comment on item 12, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Karen Campbell is here in favor of this item and would speak if necessary.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for, from the dais here for Ms. Campbell? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion. Thank you, Supervisor Sellers and Supervisor Chukri. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Next, under internal audit, number 13, that's our annual audit plan and annual risk assessment. And I believe I saw our county auditor, Mike McGee, there. Thank you, Mike, for you and your team for all that you do. And under the clerk of court, number 14, appointments. The board will now consider items 13 and 14.
Move to approve items 13 and 14.
Thank you, Supervisor Hickman. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Gallardo. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of item 14, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? That passes unanimously. Under the sheriff, we have number 15, agreement and acceptance of funds from the Office of National Drug Control Policy. 16, exemptions from markings and issuance of undercover plates. 17 through 24, we have amend law enforcement services agreement with Carefree, Cave Creek, Guadalupe, Youngtown, Goodyear, Fountain Hills, Gila Bend, and Litchfield Park. And then finally, 25 is an agreement with the town of Queen Creek. And I see that we have the Sheriff Paul Penzone with us today. Sheriff, would you like to say anything?
Oh, that was a mistake, because he'll take forever.
Good morning.
Mr. Chairman, I understand that what we're dealing with most of these agreements with the various cities and towns is that we have been providing services above and beyond what was originally recognized in the contract, and that we're simply trying to right the rudder, if you will, or bring that balance so the county is made whole, as well as we're being aligned more accurately with our communities that we serve in this regard. So I have not heard any pushback from my towns. I don't know if my colleagues have. So I think it's probably appropriate, and I would make with that a motion to approve.
All right, thank you for that motion. Do we have a second?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'll second that and just mention that the town of Queen Creek is fully supportive.
Excellent. All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of these items, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Next, under county departments, air quality, we have amend agreement with the city of Phoenix, number 26. Under animal care and control, number 27 and 28 are New Hope agreements. 29 through 32, kennel permits. 33 through 36 are donations from Two Pups Wellness Fund, Almost There Foster Care, Hope Emergency Animal Rescue, and Love Pup Foundation, and we are grateful for all those donations. With that, the board will now consider items 26 through 36.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you Supervisor Gallardo and Supervisor Chukri. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Under Emergency Management, we have the MOU with Rubio's Coastal Grill. Under Enterprise Technology, 38 is amend the license agreement with Western Holdings. And under Finance, 39, funds, transfers, and warrants. The board will now consider items 37 through 39.
Move for approval.
Thank you Supervisor Sellers.
Second.
Second, Supervisor Gallardo. Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? That motion passes. Under Human Resources 40, we have the employee leave policy revisions, and under Human Services 41, an agreement with Maricopa County Community College District. 42, data sharing agreements with the Arizona Department of Economic Security. 43, amend extensions to work experience agreements. 44, application U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. 45, annual action plans and receipt of funds. And 46, amend lease agreement with the 2150 Country Club LLC. Board will now consider items 40 through 46.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you Supervisor Chukri. Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you Supervisor Sellers. Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Under Parks and Recreation, we have 47, which is amend the IGA with Yavapai County. 48, administrative payment changes to employee annual park pass. Under Procurement Services, we have 49, change order for administration building restack. And 50, auto body repair, cars and light trucks contract. Under Public Defense Services, 51, which is correction to exemption from vehicle government decals and plates. And 52, apply and accept Edward J. Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant funding. We do have a speaker slip on item 50. So maybe what we could do is entertain a motion if we want to pull out 50. We could entertain a motion on 47 through 52, holding out 50.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you Supervisor Chukri. Do you have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you Supervisor Hickman. Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes unanimously. Now on item 50, we have Ray Mobilia here from Ace Auto Collision to speak in opposition on item 50. Good to see you again, sir. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the board and county manager. As a taxpayer, I have to come down and at least speak my mind. I got a call from Kevin Klein, who is procurement manager, and he said that you're going to move forward on this bid. And I have to at least bring up a few things. Opposing this in pricing, you have the first position, which is at $40 an hour, and second position is at $46 an hour, which ends up being about a 25% increase between first and second. City of Phoenix has the same contract, almost identical, and their pricing is $29 an hour, and second position is $30. Quite a big difference, and I'm just opposing this, thinking that as far as taxpayers go, we're going to be paying too much money towards repairs on county vehicles, and I ask for you to rethink this.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Mobilia? If not, is it all right? We may call you up if there are further questions. At this time, I'd like to ask Kevin Tyne, Procurement Officer for Maricopa County, if he could come down and say a few words. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. Members, board members, Ace Auto Collision and Mr. Mobilia's submission, as you know from the last meeting, was ultimately not a valid bid. The Office of Procurement Services could not consider this submission because they did not follow the full solicitation requirements as advertised. And these were the same exact requirements that were followed previously when they were awarded the contract some time ago. With regards to Mr. Mobilia's claim of costing the county more, these are totally different solicitations, totally apples to oranges. I don't believe that's painting a complete picture. This new contract takes into account that there is also value in getting quality work done in a timely manner, that the contract recognizes getting turnaround time so that we can get our county employees back out in the field and in the streets to do their job effectively, decrease downtime, things of that nature that also would need to be taken into account. So in the end, the board has 2 responses from vendors who complied with the solicitation requirements, who are susceptible for award, and the department does recommend moving forward with approval.
Thank you, Mr. Tyne. Can you talk about any actions that we're going to be moving forward based upon this, looking at any changes, or maybe you can address that?
Mr. Chairman, I think that's something the county manager has made clear as a priority, and we will look at it. I should also note that this is a multi-award solicitation that would be awarded, and what that means is it does allow the department, if they determine over the course of this year that the value's not there, or that they're not getting the services that they need, that we certainly would be able to resolicit this and possibly go out if we needed additional vendors.
Thank you. Questions from my colleagues? Supervisor Hickman.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I think it was based, going back in history, I think it was the board asked for a continuance of this item uniformly because we heard from a constituent and a vendor, and I wanted to check that out. It was basically, we need to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Currently, and I know Mr. Tyne has reached out solving an issue where I didn't think that there was enough vendors in our community looking for county business. And I wanted to make sure that we were not crippling that. When you see just something on paper where it's just 2 vendors for a relatively large contract, it should give all of us pause. But based on that, and Joy working with procurement, and they certainly have answered my questions about this one particular item. So I appreciate it, Joy, for reaching out, and Kevin, I appreciate you guys digging into this a little bit more. So that being said, appreciate you coming down here. Really appreciate if you would consider also bidding again. I wanted to find out if an appeals process was in place and if that was satisfied. And I think it is in place. And so I feel very strong about this contract right now as it states. I also did not want to reset a bid process where now 2 people that did choose to bid, I did not want to run afoul of that because some of us have careers in sales where that bid process, you get a one-time shot and you don't get a second shot after you see the competitor's bid price. And I didn't want to run afoul of those rules either for the county. So that being said, I would be happy to make a motion to approve item number 50. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that motion, and thank you for your words. I echo those comments as well. We have a motion from Supervisor Hickman. Do you have a second?
Second.
Second from Supervisor Gallardo. Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Next, under Public Health, we have 53, which is amend the IGA with the Arizona Board of Regents, and we have 54, which is to amend a contract with Dignity Health. The board will now consider items 53 and 54. Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Hickman. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Next, under real estate, we have 55, which is a sale of real property to the city of Avondale. Now, the board will now consider item 55, which does require a unanimous roll call vote.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item number 55.
Thank you, Supervisor Gallardo. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Hickman. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, if you'd please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Sellers.
Aye.
Supervisor Chukri.
Aye.
Supervisor Hickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Gallardo.
Aye.
Chairman Gates.
Aye.
Thank you.
That motion passes unanimously. Also under real estate, we have 56, which is termination of IGAs with the City of Avondale. Board will now consider item 56.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item number 56.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. Under Real Estate 57, we have amend the lease agreement and amend the sublease agreement with Community Bridges, Inc. The board will now consider item 57, and this also requires a unanimous roll call vote.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Chukri. Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Supervisor Sellers.
Aye.
Supervisor Chukri.
Aye.
Supervisor Hickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Gallardo.
Aye.
Chairman Gates.
Aye.
Thank you.
That motion passes unanimously. Next, under Risk Management 58, Transfer of Recycling Program and Assets. The board will now consider item 58.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Chukri. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Gallardo. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion passes unanimously, and with that, I will turn over the gavel to the Vice Chairman, Supervisor Hickman. I have a potential conflict on this item.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 59, under Transportation Agreement with Roosevelt Irrigation District. Do I hear a motion?
So moved, Mr. Part-Time Chairman.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any, well, I guess there's no one else that's going to make a motion
Great
against
work.
it.
Great work.
I'm just trying to buy time so Bill can use the bathroom or, okay. Okay, very good. Item's approved. Now we'll ask the chairman to come back. Hope you had a good break.
It was great.
Good.
Very restful. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Vice Chairman, for handling that in my stead. Under Transportation additional items, we have 60, annexation by the City of Peoria, 61, sale of excess property, 62, adopt a road program, 63 and 64, new traffic controls, 65, rescind the traffic controls on Freedom Way, 66, change in traffic controls, 67, easement, right-of-way, and relocation assistance documents, and then under the Board of Supervisors, 68, appointment of the public fiduciary. The board will now consider items 60 through 68, and Madam Clerk?
Mr. Chairman, I do have one correction in this group to make note of. It's on item number 68 regarding the public fiduciary. In the agenda item, the last sentence in the first paragraph needs to be eliminated. With this appointment, the current interim public fiduciary, Shawnee Patterson, will return to her position as fiduciary supervisor in the office of the public fiduciary. Ms. Shawnee Patterson is going to keep her position as the designated principal while Ms. Garcia completes her licensing requirements.
Great, thank you for that correction. We'll definitely take note of that. And with that, the board will now consider items 60 through 68 with those amendments and corrections to number 68.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of items number 60 through 68 with the changes stated by our clerk on number 68.
All right, thank you very much. We have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you very much. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, any opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Next, we'll get into setting of hearings, planning and development, 69, planning and zoning cases, transportation 70, road file number A635, 71, patent easement abandonment, road file number PAB-0091, and environmental services, we have the transfer station fee revisions. Board will now consider items 69 through 72.
Mr. Chairman, move approval of items 69 through
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Chukri. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. On to the consent agenda, 73 minutes, 74 duplicate warrants, 75 stale dated warrants, 76 civil penalty appeals, 77 Head Start monthly report, 78 precinct committeemen, 79 secured unsecured tax roll corrections, and 80 settlement resolution of property tax cases and claims. The board will now consider items 73 through 80.
Motion to approve items 73 through 80, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Hickman. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? That motion passes. Next, under the addendum, Transportation A1 is settlement in Maricopa County versus Norman Michael Hale. County Attorney A2, file and offer a judgment in Constantino versus Acratelli et al. Human Services A3, lease agreement with Fowler on 8th LLC. And under Sheriff A4, amend action, rescind action, and adopt MOU. The board at this time will consider addendum items A1 through A4.
Motion to approve these items, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Supervisor Chukri, do we have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chairman, I
Yes.
was wondering maybe we should take item A4 individually.
Absolutely. So
Mr.
let's,
Chairman, I'll amend my motion to amend all, to approve all items except A4, and we'll come back to that.
excellent. Do you agree with that? Okay, excellent. We have a motion and a second, A1 through A3. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, that motion passes unanimously. So then I would entertain a motion for A4.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Supervisor Chukri. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Sellers. We have a motion and a second on A4. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed?
No.
All right, A4 passes by a vote of 4-1. Thank you very much, Sheriff, for joining us. Under the Flood Control District, we have F1, resolution, we've recessed. We're going to recess as the Board of Supervisors and convene as a Flood Control District. Under Flood Control District, we have F1, which is a resolution for detention basin at Town of Cream Creek East Park Sports Complex. F2, an IGA for the detention basin at Town of Queen Creek East Park Sports Complex. F3 is minutes, and F4 is easement, right-of-way, and relocation assistance documents. The board will now consider items F1 through F4.
Mr. Chairman, move for approval of items F1 through F4.
Second.
Thank you for the motion and the second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed?
Okay.
All right, that motion passes unanimously. Now we will adjourn as the Flood Control District Board of Directors and convene as the Library Board of Directors. And we have one item here, L1, which is a public hearing for proposed revisions to the Library District fines and fee schedule. So at this time, do we have, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone to speak here on this item?
None, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Well, on this particular item, it is to remove the late fees that we have on the library district. I'm supportive of this item because I think we should be encouraging, first of all, our libraries do an incredible job, and I think we should be encouraging people to read, especially we're going into the summer right now. So I think this is an innovative approach, and I really appreciate the library district coming to us on it. And after this, if this is passed by this board, there's no excuse for people not to be reading in Maricopa County. So with that, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Supervisor Gallardo. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Supervisor Hickman. Motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion passes unanimously. Additionally, under Library District, we have L2, lease agreement with Recreation Centers of Sun City. L3, termination of lease. L4, amend the IGA with the City of Litchfield Park. L5 and L6 donations, again, we're grateful for those donations to the library district, and L7 minutes. The board will now consider items L2 through L7.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second with a comment?
Yes, thank you for the motion and the second. Supervisor Hickman.
Cindy here? Oh, Jeremy.
Jeremy Reeder's
Hey,
here.
please let Cindy and the staff know. That's the amendment, basically, of getting these two libraries under one umbrella out in Sun City. I very much appreciate, I'm sure, the hard work. And also a special call out to the owner of Wildlife World Zoo, Mickey Olson, with that free child admission. It's a great zoo, so I'm very happy he's helping in that regard. It's a great place to go to for those kids.
Thank you, Supervisor Hickman. Thank you, Jeremy. So we do have the motion and the second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we'll adjourn as the Library District Board of Directors and convene as the Stadium District Board of Directors. We have two items, S1, the assignment of the Suns parking agreement, and S2, minutes. The board will now consider items S1 and S2.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of item S1 and S2.
Thank you, Supervisor Gallardo. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Chukri. Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion passes unanimously. At this time, we're going to adjourn as the Stadium District Board of Directors and reconvene as the Board of Supervisors to give our updates and to see if there's any public comment. But before that, I erred earlier in not inviting Jennifer Toth to come and have her picture taken with the Board of Supervisors. So if my colleagues would be willing, Jennifer, can you come up and we can get a quick picture, again, to memorialize your great accomplishment.
Hey.
All right, again, congratulations, Jennifer. Good things come to those who wait, right? All right, so now we've got for public comment. First, we have Christine Wilson. If you'd like to come on down, we do have 2 minutes for public comment, and under state law, we're not able to respond to your comments, but we will listen to that, and if there's any follow-up that needs to be done via the county manager, we'll do that. Thanks for joining us.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate the time. I am a member of the, oh boy, get this right. I'm oh my goodness, precinct committeeman in Scottsdale, and I'm also an Arizona state person. And Supervisor Chukri came to our meeting several months ago and explained to me about the difference with the elections and how they were handled. And I was aware then that there is a possibility of possibly taking away some of the duties of elections from the recorder's office and putting it all into your hands. I guess I'm not really sure how this all works, but I was not pleased, and I stand for many people, but I was not pleased already
We'll give you a couple extra seconds at the end.
I was not pleased at how the elections went in 2018. My concern is voter fraud, and I know people who went and were poll watchers, and that they saw some things that were not right going on. I read about extra things like emergency voting booths that shouldn't have been set up, and just a lot of different things. And so I just ask that this be looked into in a greater way, and that something be done to avoid these problems from happening again, because I don't believe that the results were correct in representing Arizona, how people came from way behind several weeks after the election and won positions, and that were not, to me, not representative of what most Arizonans wanted. So I don't have the facts, but I just would like to ask you to look into that and consider having those duties brought out of that office of the recorders. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now I hear it.
Excellent. Thank you very much
Thank you.
for coming down and speaking. We
Thank you.
certainly appreciate your time. Next, we have Kathleen Angelos to speak as well during public comment. Thanks for joining us. Again, 2 minutes.
Thank you for listening to me yet again. I was here last time, talking about elections and integrity and ballot. I am a newly appointed precinct committee woman from Legislative District 23, Scottsdale. And I have many people in favor of or petitioning the ballot integrity responsibility to be taken back by the Board of Supervisors. I am here on behalf of all these people. And having been a veteran, which I had said last meeting, the integrity to me is very important because it also puts a face on the state of Arizona nationally. If we have too many fraudulent votes and ballots not being handled correctly, and that doesn't look very well, in my opinion. I would like my vote to count. I would like the people that do vote and take the time to vote and get involved to be taken seriously. And I would really like to see the Board of Supervisors take back that responsibility, because pretty soon people will stop voting if they think that their vote is not going to be accepted or not handled accurately. That's all I have to say. These.
Thank you very much for coming and
Welcome.
speaking today, and thanks for your service.
You're quite welcome.
Next, we have Ed Bufford. Hey. Did I get it right this time?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you. Mr. Beeford. Steve. Hey, I want you to know, I'm used to the 2 minutes, so I can do this. I did a comedy, started getting back into doing comedy stuff, and the guy that was introducing me, he had never seen my name in writing, hadn't met me. And so I just said, I've always wanted to go by the stage name Buff Edwards. So I just told him my name is Buff Edwards. So I did this whole comedy thing at this comedy place, asked Buff Edwards, and that was kind of fun. It was like a little bucket list thing. And Edwards is pretty hard to mispronounce. So that worked out well. But as long as you can pretty much say what you want in public, in the public 2 minutes. I'm a PC committee person. I'm a veteran. I think he's doing a great job. Moving on to my, the county recorder. Moving on to the main thing I came down here for. I was under the impression that maybe somebody was going to contact me about the idea of licensing. But I don't think I heard from anybody, but I'd love to ask for that again. It can be increased, especially if volunteers are willing to go out and do it in a friendly, community service, educational manner. There needs to be more dogs licensed, or at least dogs with identification, but the law doesn't say they have to have identification, it just says they have to have licenses. So that's what I'm going to focus on, is a law that already exists that I think we should be enforcing. I'd also like to ask if I would be able to possibly talk to anybody about the law that is in effect that says that you cannot get a license without sending in your receipt for vaccinations, for the key of vaccination. 68,000 people 2 years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, those of you that have the figures, but 68,000 people sent in their license money without that and did not get a license. And if it's so important, if it's so incredibly important, then why is the state vet board allowing only 41% of the dogs to be licensed without making a big deal about it. So I'd love to hear from somebody, and thanks for your time again. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for your service, and thanks, and we'll follow up with you all. Great points that you made. My dog Sugar is up for her license being renewed here in the next couple weeks, and I'll take care of it. Guaranteed. All right. Well, this is the time we now have set aside for any comments from the members of the board and also our county manager. So I'll start with our county manager, Joy Rich. All right. Thank you. Supervisor Sellers.
Oh, thank you. A lot going on. Supervisor Chukri and I both attended the Gilbert Public Safety Training Facility groundbreaking. Really significant because our county flood control district has played a significant role in helping to further the use of this property. So that was very, very nice. I attended the Mesa Gilbert Road Light Rail Extension grand opening last weekend. Very well attended, and it was nice to be able to catch up with all my friends in Mesa. I did the fitness walk with Supervisor Gallardo, and that was kind of fun to be out with that many people from the county. And, you know, everybody that looks at the pictures from that keeps saying, why are we seeing more City of Phoenix shirts than we're seeing white shirts? I think we had them outnumbered. I think the photographers maybe were biased.
Exactly.
The last thing I'll mention is yesterday I attended a Women in Leadership celebration, and one of the awardees was a good friend of mine, Dr. Camille Castile, who is the superintendent of Chandler Unified School District. So been a busy couple of weeks. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Supervisor Chukri.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would just ask Mr. Sellers that, Mr. Sellers, was I on time on Monday at that Gilbert event at 7:30 in the morning?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I apologize, though, for not being able to recognize those people who have given so much time and trust and hard work to the county earlier this morning. I also want to, again, congratulate Jen on her great success and that of her apartments. And I failed to mention that it actually, good leadership is reflected in the people that you lead. And I think you see that at McDOT very, very well. So congratulations to you on that as well, Jen. So we had a busy week in the Chukri household. My son graduated from 8th grade from St. Thomas, and he is going to be joining Mr. Hickman's son as freshman at Brophy here in a few weeks. So that was making me both feel old, but also recognizing just how precious our kids are to us and how life is. So I was very proud of that. And then I was in Chicago, where we talked about the future of the restaurant industry, Mr. Chairman, and it's remarkable how well Arizona is doing, and I'm very proud of that. And I think it's brilliant leadership from the head of the Arizona Restaurant Association. But that being said, I wanted just to say that if you look at all these things and the briefing that Cindy gave us just a few days ago on our budget, and we still see 18 more months of good growth, not only here in Arizona, but across the nation, which is something I think to celebrate. And then when you look at the additional data we were given about the second closest county, Joy and I were talking about this yesterday, that we are growing faster. We're going 70% faster than our closest, and I don't want to say a competitor, but they're a competitor to Clark County, Nevada. So we're going to see this continue, and I am very grateful to have the team that we have on this dais and the team that we have in the audience and the team that we have in the greater Maricopa County family there to not only welcome that, but prepare for it. And that is something, too, I think that we celebrate and trumpet very, very loudly. It is Arizona Restaurant Week. We're 4 or 5 days in. So go out and eat. Everyone looks very thin in the audience. I would recommend you all go out and eat. But in closing, I would also want to thank Paige and Nicole, who have done just a brilliant job also with these irrigation districts. I mean, it's very difficult. It's these are nuanced issues, and so I want to make sure I thank the two of them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much for those comments, and I couldn't agree more with the comment about the growth that's going on. It is exceptional, and I think it's a big testament to the team here that even with that growth, that the team was able to put together a budget that provides for the needs, provides for the growth at a level property tax rate. I think that says a lot about what this team is doing to operate in an efficient manner. And also want to make sure I recognize that yesterday was Laura Etter's birthday, so happy birthday, Laura. Exciting, a lot of excitement in Laura's world these days. Although I did tell her, I said, you should take the day off. I just think it's wrong to have to work on your birthday. I just have a thing about that. But she was here anyway. That's how devoted she is to District 3 and the people of Maricopa County. Big week for the Gates family as well. Our oldest daughter graduates from high school on Saturday. So Supervisor Chukri and I had lunch recently, and we were talking about this, that we all should appreciate these special moments and how quickly time flies. So let's make sure we have that balance. Everyone in Maricopa County, all of our employees, make sure that we maintain that balance. A lot going on in District 3. We had our New River meeting yesterday over lunch hour. Zach and I were out at that. A lot of good interaction with the folks in the community, while Laura was out at the Arizona Department of Real Estate, because our folks up in that area in particular are very concerned about them and as it relates to illegal lot splits, and we want to continue to deepen and build that relationship so that we can reach out to the Department of Real Estate so they can help provide assistance when we do have those illegal lot splits out in that area. Had a great meeting this morning with a group of business leaders that are involved with the Greater Phoenix Chamber. Great questions, smart group, and great insights on what's going on in our community, and they are very bullish on the economy. And finally, in the spirit of bipartisanship, my next county coffee will be in Sunny Slope at the North Mountain Brewery, and my guest will be the new mayor of Phoenix, Kate Gallego. So that will be on Thursday, June the 6th. Should be a great opportunity to meet with folks and hear what's going on in the city. As you probably all know, they just had an election yesterday. Looks like they may be having 2 new members of the city council over there. So exciting times as always there. Thank you to everybody who was here for the meeting, and thanks especially to our folks with their years of service that we recognized earlier today. Supervisor Hickman.
I would like to concur on a couple thoughts about how important, sorry everybody, but all of our kids are important. Your kids are important. It'd be nice to know what's going on in your lives too, because you guys have to sit there and listen to about our kids. But that being said, I have been talking to Supervisor Chukri probably almost since we were the young guys on this board, just taking office, and watching our kids grow up in the Catholic school system. He's a little bit more on the east side than I am, but I'm looking forward for Grant and Trevor to really get to know each other and become brothers there. And also, as we took office, we had this big brother called Andy Kunasik, and his son Matt will be 1 grade ahead of ours. So I'm looking forward to that transpiring as well. Number 2, sorry, Steve. Steve continues to talk about his losses in Little League for his team. My son will be in the championship game of Litchfield Park tomorrow, so I'm very proud of him too. And last, I read a couple statements from a friend of mine, Major General retired Lance Unjum, and a reporter asked him how to take Memorial Day, and he said, it's really tough on me when people come up and say Happy Memorial Day. It's because I lost friends in the Iraq War and won over Afghanistan. So he said, it's hard for me to say happy because I think about the people that we've lost. And then you take that through generations. So as we are out being safe with our families on Memorial Day, traveling around, give a special place in your heart for those veterans that lost their lives in service to the country and protecting us and still going on to this day. And keep them in your heart and your prayers as they continue to protect us for generations.
Well said, Supervisor Hickman. Supervisor Gallardo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And real quickly, just want to once again commend you on the budget process. I know we have a tentative budget moving forward, and you look at what's going on just down the street with our friends, and they couldn't get a tentative budget if their lives depended on it right now. They're at war. But nonetheless, it's fun to watch from afar. We're moving forward. But anyways, congratulations on the whole budget process. Once again, congratulations, Jen. Great job as always, and it's just being recognized nationally, and always an honor to be able to work with you and all your expertise in helping us in District 5. We really appreciate it. So thank you to you and your team. As Supervisor Hickman stated, baseball season coming to a close. My team just didn't quite do it in the playoffs. We were the second seed. We were second place. We were doing fine throughout the whole season. Come to the playoffs, and we just tanked. I blame everybody but myself. But nonetheless, we had a great season. Kids had a great time. Many of them are going to come back. We're going to practice in the off season too. That's why I told the kids, you guys are off. School's out.
That's against the rules.
Not my rules. Not my rules. We're going to practice in the off season and come back ready for next season. But it was a great year. We had closing ceremonies on Saturday. Teamed up with Councilman Michael Nowakowski in his Star Spangled event that he has every year. He actually moved it so it coincided with our closing ceremony. So with the City of Phoenix's fireworks and all the stuff going on, it was a great event out there Saturday in Levine. Huge participation, more folks than I ever thought came out. So it was a great closing ceremony and a great event with Councilman Nowakowski, so I want to thank him. And graduations are here. I don't have any kids, but I have the honors of speaking at 3 of the graduations tomorrow, back to back. So Trevor Brown, Maryville, and Alhambra. I'm going to give them words of wisdom. Don't listen to the parents. Listen to me. I know it all. And no, but I definitely, this is the part where I really look forward to. These kids have worked very hard. Many of them face tremendous challenges socially and economically, and every day they get up, they go to school, and they're doing their best to be prepared for the real world. And this is the one time that we as a group, we pat them on the back and hopefully wish them well and encourage them to look at life not as a journey, but an adventure. And it's up to them to go for it and look for the stars and just do everything they can to be successful. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a packed day of graduations, and it's going to be a fun day. So other than that, we're gearing up for the summertime. We're going to work with the City of Phoenix once again with our water events. That was a great success last year. So we were kind of rethinking how we're going to do it and bringing in our new mayor and our new council members. It's exciting yesterday. So new council members to be able to work with to do a county City of Phoenix project throughout the summer. So we're looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, good luck with all those graduations tomorrow. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hey, how's restaurant week going?
You have to drink a lot of water. You've been doing a lot of
I already participated in the wigwam.
That's really cool. Just real quick, you said Trevor Brown, Alhambra, and who? Maryville.